Okay, good morning, good afternoon. Maybe it's 2 in the a.m. I don't know what time it is for you people right now when you're watching this, but here is the long-awaited answer key to your study guide for your quiz that you're going to have next time I see you. Hopefully this doesn't take too long and you can get on to your other assignments and then get out and play in the snow a little bit. All right, so first question. I'm going to zoom in real close here. Oh, apologize for my placemats. This is our kitchen table here. Okay. So I would first simplify the 3 to the second and 3 to the negative third. So 2 minus 3 is going to give me 3 to the negative 1, and then the x to the negative 2 just stays in the denominator. Then these are both negative exponents, so this one's going to get shifted to the numerator, this one's going to get shifted to the denominator. So I'm going to have x squared over 3 to the first power, or just 3, and that would be my final answer. Okay, so the last thing you should do is rearrange. No matter what the process is, the very last thing is, oh, this needs to go here, this needs to go here, so my exponents are positive. All right, question 2. I've got x to the negative 2 in the denominator, and I've got y to the negative 3 and y to the negative 8. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify these y terms. Negative 3 minus negative 8, remember that's like adding, so I'm going to have y to the 5th, and I left that x to the negative 2 in the denominator. Well, this can't stay here, so this needs to move up to my numerator. So my final answer, the y to the 5th stays in the numerator, x squared comes up to the numerator, and then I'm done. Okay, I mean, you could have this all over 1, but again, that's just like an improper fraction, so you don't have to have it. But if you did, it's fine. All right, question 3. Let me adjust my Elmo here. I'm going to distribute the 3. And remember, power to a power is multiplying, right? And remember, there's a secret 1 there. So 1 times 3 is going to give me 2 to the 3rd. 3 times 3 is going to give me x to the 9th. 3 times 3 is going to give me y to the 9th. And 4 times 3 will give me z to the 12th. Remember, I just write my z's that kind of funny way, so it doesn't look like a 2. So then you could leave it like this.
Mama, I found a new Hatchimal.
Oh, okay, buddy.
I found it upstairs. It was in something, and but it doesn't color change.
Okay. Hey,
So
I'm making a video, so can I come up in a little bit and say goodnight?
I'm gonna put it in my Hatchimal.
Okay, cool, buddy. Good plan. So here, if you left it as 2 to the 3rd, great. If you simplified that to 8, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and then you had x to the 9th, y to the 9th, z to the 12th, either of those is the correct answer. So this one or this one would be correct. I don't have to do any shifting because I don't have any negative exponents. All right, question 4. I'm going to distribute this negative 6 to both of those numbers. So I'm going to get 12 to the negative 48 over x to the negative 72. These both have negatives, so I have to shift them to the opposite location. So my final answer is going to be x to the 72 over 12 to the 48. We are definitely not going to figure out the value of that. And that's going to be my final answer. All right, number 5. Let me zoom in here. And 6. Again, I have to distribute the 3 to those. So I'm going to get 2 to the 3rd, x to the 12th. And then I have to distribute the 2 to these. So I'm going to get 7 squared x squared. 2 to the 3rd is 8. 7 squared is 49. I know that 8 looks weird, right? And then 12 minus 2 is a positive 10, so my x to the 10th would stay here, and this will be my final answer. I can't do anything to the 8 or the 49. It just is what it is. All right, and then this last one, I just have 3 separate simplifying situations. So 3 minus 9 is going to give me x to the negative 6. Negative 2 minus negative 6 is like adding, so I'm going to get y to the positive 4. And then negative 8 minus 0 is going to give me z to the negative 8. Well, these can't stay up here, right, because they're negatives. So these both get shifted down. This stays at the top. Y to the 4th over x to the 6th, z to the 8th. And notice that those are positive now. Everybody's happy. Sorry, I've got a real hard time with my 8s tonight. And I know some of you like check out like the surroundings of my screen, and you could probably see that it's almost 10 p.m. Once we found out it was an e-learning day tomorrow, we all stayed up and watched Iron Man 2. So that is why my small child just came down and told me he found his Hatchimal. I really am not a bad mom. We just, tried to live it up a little bit tonight with some popcorn. Okay, turn it over. Let's look at the back. So I gave you this hint that your job is to figure out what can x and y equal, and a obviously has to be 5 because we want our answer to be 5 to the 12th. So knowing all the rules, I made 7 and 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. You could have had 4 and 8. You could have had 2 and 10. You could have had a lot of different answers here that when you add them up, you get to 12. The only thing you can't have is 6, and that's because if x was 6 and y was 6, I wouldn't need 2 separate variables, right? I could just use x twice or y twice. So you have to make sure that you have different numbers for the x and the y's. Otherwise, it's not really doing what it's supposed to. So for subtraction here, I chose 5 to the 19th and 5 to the 7th because 19 minus 7 is going to give me 12. You could have pretty much done any combination. I've had students get real creative and like make it so that you're actually adding to get 12. Like they put a negative down here and it gets, real clever. As long as you don't have the same numbers here, which wouldn't work, then you're good. Right here, of course, this rule I'd be multiplying. So I'm going to say 5 to the 3rd raised to the 4th because 3 times 4 is 12. You could have 2 times 6, 1 times 12, right? So then as long as when your answer works out, you get 5 to the 12th. And then for this one, remember this is going to have to be a negative if I want to be able to force it up to the numerator. So this would have to be 1 over 5 to the negative 12. That gets forced up to 5 to the 12th in the numerator. And then your answer, of course, is 5 to the 12th. All right, and then the last two, remember our quizzes are very similar to our study guides. So this first one is literally just a factor tree. I chose 2 times 64. And then, of course, I had 8 times 8. So I got 2 times 4, 2 times 4, 2 times 2. Can you guys see that still? And 2 times 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2s as all my prime numbers. So I'm going to get 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I pair them up. I have 2 times 2 times 2 square root 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So my answer would be 8 square root 2. Right? And remember that tells somebody that really what this means is 8 times 8, which is 64, times the 2, which gives me the 128 that I started out with. Okay? And then the last answer, we've got to do a factor tree for 75. 5 times 15. 15 is 3 times 5. So I've got that, and then I've got all these x's, y's, and z's. So I'm just going to do a giant house. And I've got 3 times 5 times 5. I've got 4 x's. And I've got 3 y's. And I've got 2 z's. So remember, we got to pair them up. So I'm going to take a 5 out, a couple x's, a y, and a z. So I'm going to have 5. I have 2 x's, like 2 pairs. So I'm going to have 5x squared, a y, and a z. And what's left is a 3 and a y. So that would be my final answer. I guess I didn't need this huge space here. What was I thinking? Okay, so that is that. Of course, when I see you next, I'll give you some time to ask questions before you take the quiz. I'll have my computer with me all day, so you can send me questions, email me, yeah. So I hope you guys have a little time to get outside and have fun today in the snow. Thank you very much for checking your answers, and I will see you either Wednesday or Thursday.